Have you ever had the experience in life where it seems the same theme is coming up over and over? Where it seems like the universe or God is trying to tell you something, trying to get you to realize something, trying to get you to open your eyes to something? That's the experience I just had. Hello, and welcome back to the channel, guys. This is The Life Doc. Today I'm sipping on some nice Mountain Dew. And I am wired. A quick blurb about the gameplay. This is week 1 Vanguard. You know, when Haus was a 24/7 playlist, so I have a few quick games. I've heard about OP shotties and decided I might as well grind it before they get rid of it because simply I don't like using shotguns. They cramp my style quite a bit on regular maps, so having a tiny map like this was the right time. This was also before I knew anything about riot shield cheese, so of course I wasn't using one myself. Hope you enjoy the madness of the gameplay and the very last one as well. I've been wondering and considering what topic to explore to start this channel. I browsed the topics I had brainstormed at some point and realized that a lot of them are quite heavy, so to speak. Hence, it may not be a great idea to start off on those. Ultimately, I was having a hard time deciding. Then, over the course of this weekend, I participated in a few different events and discussions, and basically they read me to filth. Because in every single one of these discussions, some way, somehow, the topic of pride came up. Now, I've always been wary of the idea of pride, mostly because the Bible already said, "Pride cometh before the fall," but people have always called me cocky. I took issue with that on a deep level because for the majority of my life, I was never really confident in myself, in my abilities, in my own brain. This caused crippling introversion. In fact, I remember once when I was asked a question when I was younger. It wasn't an academic question, it was just a conversational question. Someone was literally asking me my opinion, and since I didn't know how to answer, I just walked out the room. I was very upset with myself, but I literally didn't know what else to do. Instead of saying I didn't know or just laughing it off or anything really, all I could do out of the initial anxiety and following embarrassment was just walk out of the room. At some point, after finally deciding that crippling introversion was only worsening my life and leaving me in a depressed state without any friends, I started to put in work to change. The first change was, obviously, attempting to make friends. This was junior year of high school. Yeah, it took that long. And well, that story should be reserved for another video. By the time I got to college though, I had built up some confidence and I thought I was doing well. The culture shock of the particular college I went to, however, quickly showed me that I was wrong, that I knew nothing about society and that I needed to reassess. Introverted Life Doc made a return. Ironically enough, it was at that point I was told people didn't like me because they felt that I felt that I was better than them. When I asked how they could possibly come to such a conclusion, one girl remarked and said that it was because I often walked into the lounge and didn't talk to anyone and then walked out after eating my food or doing whatever I needed to do at the time. Oftentimes I even walked in, sat down, and listened to whatever discussion was going on and stayed quiet. I knew little to nothing about whatever they were discussing and I had nothing to offer to the conversation. And as far as I was concerned at the time, people only spoke when they had something to offer. I of course soon learned that that was completely incorrect, and a lot of people in fact are very comfortable speaking out their ass when they don't know anything. So needless to say, it came as an absolute surprise hearing that those actions had led people to believe that I believed I was somehow better than them. Granted, being an immigrant who grew up initially in the hood and only recently moved to the suburbs before coming to what he thought was going to be a city college that instead happened to have almost exclusively rural folks didn't set me up to be part of the in crowd at all. Nonetheless, I was still surprised. My entire college experience as a whole is another story for another day. As an upperclassman in college, however, I had once again gained some confidence and was determined not to let anyone shake me ever again. I think it was at this point that I started to make mistakes. Rebounding from the pressure of the bottled feelings of past experiences, I worked hard to be as right as I could, because that was the only way I knew to have confidence in myself. Now, let me be clear. This wasn't the problem. This isn't the problem. In fact, I recommend everyone try to be as right as often as possible, through research, effort, double-checking facts, etc. After all, it's the pursuit of correctness that's literally brought the human race as far as it has come. Even if we may now be on the brink of collapse due to the loss of this principle. But no, the problem seems to have come after that. I believe that after college and over the course of a few years, I allowed my confidence to grow into pride. Now, pride itself is a very interesting word, idea, concept. Merriam-Webster defines pride as the quality or state of being proud, such as inordinate self-esteem, or a reasonable or justified self-respect. But aren't those two different? In fact, next to inordinate self-esteem, it mentions the word conceit. Long story short, most people do not use pride to mean reasonable or justified self-respect. Usually, we just use the word self-esteem. So the difference I'm talking about here today is the one between pride and self-esteem. Pride being the overconfidence in oneself or one's abilities, and self-esteem being the appropriate amount. The point being that what I learned this weekend is that in the process of trying to achieve appropriate self-esteem, we can often and easily become prideful of ourselves and our accomplishments. And as was mentioned earlier, pride cometh before the fall. So this is what I've decided to begin working on, to actually become and come off as less prideful. I assure you, this will be a task and a journey in and of itself. I've always believed in balance as a virtue. All things in moderation is one of my favorite sayings. I guess I'm just now realizing how easy it is to fall off of the tightrope of a balanced state and into one side or the other. My challenge to you all this week is to assess your own lives. Leave a comment and tell me, what are you prideful about? What can you do to change? Do you think you should? Will you? I know I'll try. This is just the beginning of our conversations. This felt like a good life discussion to start off on. Please don't be too prideful to hit the like button and subscribe. See what I did there? There's so much more we need to talk about. Share this video with anyone who you think needs to reconsider their pride versus their self-esteem. That's all for today. Life Doc has left the OR.